No Rehab for Wizards, by Jon Cronshaw. I cut off one of my eyelids today. It was definitely worth it. Now, why on earth would you want to do something like that? Mum asks. I shake my head. Tut. So I can control manatees, I say. And what do you want to control manatees for? I shrug and turn the volume up on Match of the Day. Mum never gets me. She was banging on the other day about how I need to go into rehab. There's something not right about you, boy, she said. You're always chopping bits off yourself, it's not right. I tried to tell her there's no rehab for wizards. Magic always has a price. A sacrifice of flesh always has to be made. A chunk of skin off your arm will give you control of a mayfly. But what's the point in that? At least manatees have got a half-decent shelf life. I was telling her the other day about these wizards around Birmingham Way who kill dogs and badgers for their magic. I asked if she'd rather me do that. She just cried. The thing people don't realise about using animals is that if you want to take control of dog, you have to kill about 13 or 14 of them, and even then, you only get to control one of those shitty little yappy ones. Seems pointless to me. When Mum had a go at me for lopping off my little toe a couple of weeks back, I made a joke that I'd sacrifice her if she carried on having a go at me. She cried at that as well, and I really only meant it as a joke. Thing is, though, the more I think about it, the more it seems like a good idea. I'd have to work out how strong the magic would be if I did it, though. I'm assuming it would be a bit like with the dogs. Kill a whole bunch of people to take control of a shitty one? I'd get in trouble for sure. But I'm thinking it'd probably count for a lot more if it's your own mum. It must do. I turn off Match of the Day and go upstairs. And where do you think you're going? Mum asks. You're not going to chop any more body parts again, I hope. What would your father say if he could see you now with all them bits hanging off? I turn back and smile. I'm just going for a wee, I say. Stick the kettle on, will you? When the kettle starts to boil, I reach behind the toilet and pull out my blade. I run my finger across its edge and grin as a small cut opens along my fingertip. Your tea's on the hearth, Mum says, shouting up the stairs. Coming! I tuck the blade under my hoodie. Limping back downstairs, I see Mum has put EastEnders on. You don't mind me watching this on catch-up, do you? She asks. You'd turned your football off. It's fine, I say. I stand behind her and look down at her grey-streaked hair. I take the blade and bring it across her throat. She makes a weird gurgling noise. I panic and run to the kitchen to grab some tea towels and kitchen roll. I try dabbing at the blood, but it makes a right mess. Mum always said that when I started to get into one of my panics, I should stop, take a deep breath, and have a nice cup of tea. So I sit down on the opposite sofa and sip my tea, my eyes half on EastEnders and half on my mum bleeding out all over her nice cream carpet. If I let her keep bleeding, it will stop eventually. Then it will dry and be easier to mop up. I really don't want to ruin any more tea towels, so it's probably for the best to wait. Then I remember I'd forgotten to do the incantation. What a complete waste of time. I turn Match of the Day back on. At least I still had my manatee. The end. Thanks for listening. Please take a moment to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy our content, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest releases.